Welcome to the very first episode ever of Purely Awesome Dads. I'm one of your co-hosts, Justin, along with
Jeff.
Jeff, this is his very first podcast ever, his first show. We're so excited to have you. I've done this for years. He's brand new. He and I have been buds for, dear God, at least 15 years, it feels like, right? Something like that?
Yeah. It's been a long time, man. It's been awesome.
It's been a great time. Well, I think, one of the things that we're trying to do here today is start a brand new wave of health for guys in their, late 30s, early 40s, right?
Absolutely.
And we're trying to do it in like a fun way. One of the things that one of the reasons Jeff and I talk all the time, but we were looking online and we found that, there's nothing like that for us. Like you can find all these meatheads that are, super buff and crushing it. And then you find these 20-year-olds that really don't know anything and don't have a 40-year-old body, trying to give you health advice. And so Jeff and I are two guys that have been, as part of our bond at the beginning was not only our kids, but our affinity for health. And so we thought, what, our wives bug us all the time for this stuff. Friends, want tips. So we're like, hell, let's have fun with this and share this with the world. So I'm really excited to be doing this with you, Jeff. What else do you want to add to that part of it, my friend?
Yeah, no, I appreciate the introduction, Justin. And yeah, a lot of it is, we're both dads, right? 3 young kids. We're just crazy time constrained. So, over the last few years, I know both of us kind of maybe different paths in some ways, have really kind of figured out through research, just discussions, even other podcasts, just picking up different tips and tricks, right, to go try out. So hopefully we can help a few guys out there.
Absolutely. So I think that's fantastic. It's exactly where I wanted to go. And the other piece of it is that I think one of the things that we miss a lot of the time, especially when talking about health, is that we forget the fun part of it. Right. Yep. One of my favorite memories that you and I have had recently, we went on a run together, and at that point in time, Jeff was bigger into running. I was bigger into biking. And so we did this awesome 8-point-some mile trail run together. And he was kind enough to stay behind with me, but I finished.
Yep, you did, man. That's what I promised you. I'd stick with you. I think I got ahead of you for a while, but I hung back for you. It was good. It was a lot of fun.
No, you did a fantastic job, and I can't thank you enough. But, that kind of really spawned this whole movement for me. It was like, you know what, we're having so much fun doing this. It was literally a spur of the moment thing. You texted me or emailed me 2 weeks before. I'm like, sure, I'll be out there. Let's do this. Exactly. Yep. Signed up and did it. And,
freezing cold.
And rain at the end.
That's right. It rained too.
Yeah. But that's what it's about. It wasn't, we planned, we put all this effort into it. It was one of those things, hey, I'm doing this. You want to do it? And we had so much fun, and we still laugh about it today. So that's kind of what we're also trying to get out of this, is that we want you to enjoy this journey, that health is meant to be a fun thing. It's not this, I drink one of our very first subjects in our next episode, and no spoilers yet, but it's going to be about smoothies. And it's, a lot of the time I watch these videos, you put in 10 things of this green stuff, and, you put a tiny bit of honey or something else in there, and you go to drink it and your space gets sucked in because you're like, oh, it's so bitter. Exactly. It's awful.
So nasty.
And that's not what health is supposed to be, right, dude?
And people try to sell those, right? People actually buy them, but, and that's where I've discovered, kind of my own personal smoothie. We'll get into more details, of course, later, but, if people ask me, oh, what do you put in it? I say, well, how much time do you have, right? Because I've got a list of 20 or more ingredients. And yeah, they don't taste the best, but they're not horrible. But the thing is, you're drinking them, you feel great. It helps you for all your recovery, right? For all these runs, bike rides, all, different activities we do. So it's not for everyone, but if you're committed to health and fitness and have the discipline, right, to go do that, it's a wonderful thing. You'll feel great.
Absolutely. And I think the other aspect of it is kind of the fun part about the show for me is our differing stances. We both agree that health is so important, and we both agree we need to do more of it. But one of the things is our approach to it. Even our careers and everything else, the way we've diverged in our paths here has been awesome. And I think it's really important to share that with people, that at the end of the day, what you do, it's not a prescriptive approach. You want to lose 15 pounds. Well, good for you. But why do you want to lose those 15 pounds? Because otherwise you'll gain them right back. And at the end of the day, if you're not enjoying what you're doing, it doesn't do you any good, because if you're healthy, but you feel like crap, that's not worth it either. My kids, when you came out a few years ago, I think it was after Harvey, it was so funny.
Yeah.
No, we came out to visit you. Sorry. And Steph loved it because you made pancakes that were battered, and tons of butter and everything else.
That's right. I forgot about those.
Yeah, and he
They
loved
were
it.
keto pancakes
See, that's the whole idea.
with ancient grains. They're delicious.
But that's the whole point. Like, you can have fun. I mean, Seth is just a pain in the butt to get to eat anything. And so,
Yep,
like,
and he
you
loved
know, he
them.
asks all the time. He keeps asking, when's Mason and Jeff coming
With
out so
just
we can eat those?
pancakes.
Exactly. And so I think that's what the show's about, is taking, what we've learned in all our, things. I mean, we've all tried probably 1,000 different ways to do this. So it's not going to be a one size fits all. It's going to be two different approaches to health. And it's going to be, at the end of the day, we all want the same result, and we take a different approach. And Jeff has a really cool take on this, and I've got a very, fun take on this, and we both come together, and every time we get together, we have more fun than ever. So this show is meant to be all those things combined, right, dude?
Yep, absolutely. That's you nailed it, right? Different paths. I mean, we have different interests as far as recreation and fitness in some ways, right? I mean, we both love to hike, both love to ride bikes and mountain bike. I'm a crazy fanatical mountain biker. I'd ride every day if I could. And nutrition is huge with me. And I've tried all different things. I've read so many different books, and I've got it kind of narrowed down now to where what works for me may not work for everyone, but really excited to kind of share my tips, what I've learned over the time. And to me, nutrition is the absolute foundation or basis for just feeling great overall, vitality, and exercise would be number two. And that can be anything. Some people are gym rats, right? They love to be in gym lifting weights. Personally, I love to run every day, and then you hit the gym maybe more on the weekends. Anyways, that's kind of in a nutshell what I like to do. And you want to share some of yours, Justin, as well? Some of your
Absolutely,
hiking
dude.
adventures, biking with the kids, right?
Exactly. I mean, getting outdoors just in general, I love doing, right? So, I mean, during this pandemic, the weird part is, so just so you guys are aware, Jeff lives in Arizona. I live in Houston. And another irony here is that you can't pick more different climates, subtropical,
Yeah.
ultra wet, and then Tucson, which is, crazy dry, and huge mountains. So it's kind of fun to get two different, perspectives on that as well. But out here during this time, we ended up getting a Peloton bike. So I work out on that in the mornings, and then I still go running. The weather here has finally changed, so it's getting a little cooler in the morning. I take a walk around the lake all the time with the kids twice a day, because they're, remote learning right now because of the stuff going on. I've been lifting more weights. I love bike riding, like you said. And the other thing that I love doing is I love doing like body weight exercises, like
Yep.
tons of push-ups, tons of like squats, without weights, that kind of stuff. Because one of the things that you guys will also learn about us is that Jeff and I have a fun experience with back pain. So
That's
the
right.
cool part about this is that we're not these, 40-year-old guys that, have never hurt themselves. We've all, we've done many things and gotten in bad situations, and yet we're still able to do all this stuff. So the other piece of this that Jeff has hit on a few minutes ago that I think is absolutely brilliant is the recovery piece. And that's one of those things that I don't think a lot of people take seriously enough, and that they don't embrace it enough. And so in this show, we're going to talk about all these different paths and different opportunities here to really help everybody. Because the good news is, if it's out there, Jeff, one of us has tried it. I guarantee it. I've never gone as far as vegan, but I've definitely done more vegetarian. Jeff has gone, full paleo and everything else. So we can cover the whole gamut with you guys and talk about what we've learned, what's worked and what hasn't. And I think as we kind of wrap up today, I'm just excited. One, I want to thank you for doing this with me, Jeff. I think this is a great opportunity and a great, chance for us to hang out more. And then two, I just want to say, to everyone out there, thank you for watching this, and please, use the link below to subscribe. And then also, feel free to reach out anytime to us and on the chat forum, and get involved, because we'd love to hear from you, and any topics that you'd like to hear about, we're here to discuss. So Jeff, as we wrap up, what would you like to say?
Yeah, no, likewise, Justin. We've been talking about doing this for how long? Well over a year, probably longer.
Yeah.
And timing and whatever different things haven't quite worked out, but we're finally getting to do this. So really, really excited. So we've got a ton of topics we want to discuss, over the next several shows, and real keying in on that recovery piece. So just going back, for me personally, a few years ago, maybe even 10, 15 years ago, I was always hitting it really hard too. Super long bike rides, back-to-back days. And then I was feeling, tired and burned out. And that's where I kind of a few years ago, kind of discovering more of the recovery part of that. So we're going to talk about, massage and acupuncture, foam rolling. And then these are all things you can do, all the stretching, right? Which I never used to do, but, getting maybe a little older, but also learning more, that's just as important as all the fitness and the working out. So really excited to dig into all that as well. And like I said, we're looking forward to discussing all these topics, and I'm sure we'll think of many more as well. So appreciate the time, Justin, getting this all set up for us, and to our next and future episodes, man.
Awesome. So here's to episode 1 being done, and next episode, stay tuned. It's going to be all about smoothies, and we're going to have our wives involved in that one. It should be a real blast and a hell of an adventure.